Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Amirah Balqis and I'm from Group 4E. Today I will be talking about the introduction and objective of process safety and loss prevention in the production of acetaldehyde from ethylene by air oxidation. There are a lot of factors to be considered in order to acknowledge the risk or hazard exists for the equipment and throughout the process. As for the acetaldehyde production from ethylene by air oxidation, equipment such as distillation column has been used throughout this process. Therefore, a thorough and detailed analysis about the hazard that associated with the equipment should be made. In addition, hazard itself could be defined as any source of potential damage, harm or adverse health effects on something or someone under certain conditions at work. The objective of conducting this project is to identify the hazards of the selected separation unit, which is the distillation column, to perform a hazard study on the selected separation unit by using hazard guideword, and also to suggest the recommendations in order to improve the safety aspect of the selected separation unit and provide justification on the selection. Thank you.
I'm Ashwiniy and today I'll be explaining regarding the hazards present in the distillation column. Hazards are anything that can cause harm. During the normal operation of a distillation column, hazards are contained and controlled, but they are still present. A hazard analysis needs to be conducted in order to identify these hazards and the level of risk they pose to human beings. The types of hazards that were identified in a distillation column includes temperature instability, high pressure, presence of flammable fluids, and also the release of toxic materials. The material stream that enters the distillation column has to be at extremely low temperatures and high pressure. There are also presence of flammable and explosive hydrocarbon fluids such as ethylene and acetaldehyde that enters and exits the distillation column. These ethylene vapors and acetaldehyde vapors can possibly cause fire hazards. Ethylene vapors can travel back to a source of ignition and splash back and cause the containers to explode. Meanwhile, acetaldehyde can react and get oxidized by air to form peroxides that are explosive. Ethylene and acetaldehyde are also considered toxic materials that can pose adverse health effects to human beings. Exposure to ethylene can cause headaches, fatigue, and unconsciousness, while the exposure to liquid ethylene at very low temperatures can also cause frostbite. Meanwhile, exposure to acetaldehyde can cause irritability to the eyes, nose, respiratory tract, and is also a carcinogen.
Hi, my name is Puteri and Huda, and I will continue the presentation by explaining the hazard analysis based on our plant operation. So what is hazard? Hazard is a systematic technique to be used to identify any potential hazard as well as operating problems. It is well known as a risk assessment standard that has become a de facto standard for all major industries including oil and gas, chemical plants, as well as other major industries. To put it simply, there is possibility for some things may not happen as expected. So this thing is called deviation. And if this deviation happens, it could lead to a huge disaster. So this is when hazard comes into the picture to help engineers to identify any possible causes or consequences as well as actions to be taken to be used to prevent any catastrophic event from happening again. Therefore, to relate to our main project, we are required to conduct a hazard analysis on a selected one separation unit. So, based on the process flow diagram, PFD and PNID that we have obtained from HASIS simulation, we need to identify the nut. So, the nut that we have chosen is the outlet stream piping instrumentation from the distillation column, including the emergency shutdown valve (ESCV), as well as other associated instrumentation. Hence, based on this nut, we have identified 4 parameters involved, which are in terms of level, flow, temperature, and pressure. So after we have identified all the parameters involved, we need to identify the guide words, possible causes, consequences, as well as the actions that need to be taken to mitigate this deviation. If we take temperature parameter as an example, the possible guide words for this parameter could be low or high. So that means the deviation could be low in temperature or high in temperature. This basically means there is a deviation in temperature from the operating conditions of the piping instrumentation. So if we want to break down the low temperature deviation, the possible causes could be due to instrumentation failure, loss of heating, low steam pressure and temperature, as well as ineffective isolation. Then we can identify the consequences of these causes, which can produce product loss, changes in product quality, phase effect, as well as ineffective separating process. Then the action that we have identified is we can install low temperature alarm as well as check maintenance schedule and procedure. To explain how the low temperature alarm works, when the temperature is lower than the set point, the alarm will send off signal to the temperature control elements such as heaters to increase the temperature to be as close as possible to the set point again. Another parameter example that we can go through is pressure parameter. So we can set the possible guide words could be in low or high. That means the deviation would be low in pressure or high in pressure. If we want to break down the high in pressure deviations, the possible causes might be due to pressure indicator controller failure or high in vapor pressure. This could lead to low efficiency of separation, product loss, and rupture of column or other associated equipment. Hence, the action that we can take is we can install high pressure alarm or install pressure relief valve. So that's all for hazard analysis. Thank you.
As stated earlier in the video, there are several hazards that can occur when producing acetaldehyde from ethylene. And with this, the suitable hazard studies have shown all the possible things that could happen when the unit and the process is not efficient or optimal. So with this, we will look at the recommendations of how to improve the safety aspect of the distillation column. So the first recommendation is to ensure effective separation without the liability of flooding. Flooding can occur when the column is undersized, and having an undersized column will cause a higher pressure, which may result in a higher temperature. And this not only affects the efficiency of the separation, but it may also affect the safety aspect, as a very high temperature can cause fire hazard when reacting with the acetaldehyde or ethylene. The second recommendation is to ensure compatibility of the construction materials. To do this, thermal stability screening should be carried out on the materials of construction to ensure there is no corrosion products from the column that may catalyze decompositions or reactions on the column. This is because certain deposits of corrosion may cause fire hazards to occur within the column. The third recommendation is to monitor the upstream composition. This composition needs to be checked constantly to avoid maloperations, such as an overcharge of one of the components or an incomplete reaction from occurring. So this is because any sudden changes in the feed components will consequently affect the thermal stability of the batch. And finally, for our fourth recommendation is to maintain a suitable batch size. So this batch size needs to be adequate in order to cover temperature probes to ensure there is no loss of control.
Hi everyone, my name is Telvin. So in conclusion, my group have discussed three different aspects of the distillation column of our acetaldehyde production plant. So the first aspect is the type of hazards identified of the distillation column. Secondly, a hazard study performed on the distillation column by using hazard guide words. And last but not least, the recommendations to improve the safety aspect of distillation column. So by the end of this video, my groupmates and I hope that you guys get to learn something about process safety and loss prevention of our acetaldehyde production plant regarding distillation column. Thank you.